looking for the big outplay. Instead, we just watched them literally get, I guess, strangled out of a game by Jin-Air. They were never in it from about the first 3 minutes into the game, and they lost a slow, methodical 33-minute game. That's just not what we expect from Afreeca. We need to see the outplay. We need to see the aggression. We need to see a crazy pick. Otherwise, Afreeca's just going to find themselves 0-6 on the season.
I think you're right. I mean, I think they need to put Mickey on a champion that he can carry with.
How about like Zed and Twisted Fate? They sound pretty good.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Jin-Air is doing the right thing and banning those away from Mickey, too.
It's depressing that this is so effective against Afreeca. Songyun looked like he was taking that next step, but has largely regressed. Iksu, I don't think he has the champion pool to be a secondary carry. There's just no support act for Mickey. Not even Lyra can really make up or be a support act. It's Mickey only, and Mickey is finding 3 bans, 2 bans every game.
Yeah, it's looking pretty rough. What do you ban if you're Afreeca? What do you take away? They haven't banned the Quinn or the Graves. They left them open this game. It was a big priority in game number 1, but after that Maokai pick, I think they're right. You really can't ban out Trace right now.
Well, let's talk about a normal game between 2 teams. You'd be like, okay, the Victor was super effective. Mickey can play Victor. Let's take it away in this first side of the draft. The issue then is that you take Victor to buy time for someone else to carry, and I don't know who that's going to be. It has to be Mickey, so they can't even pick Victor.
I mean, you could argue that maybe Songyun can get on something good. Like you take the Corki here, the Lucian perhaps, or the Kalista.
Kalista's been the champion shown the most on. Look, if you take Victor, maybe Lyra will come back, because Lyra's a guy, you know, we saw his Gragas play early last season. I think Lyra's the sort of player who can play the jungle Graves, who can play a carry from the jungle. You need someone to put their carry pants on. Rek'Sai certainly wouldn't be an indication of that, but I'd actually look to Lyra as a secondary carry, but Afreeca not doing that, at least in their first round of the draft.
Yeah. And we'll see what Wing decides to go with. The Elise pick obviously very strong. And you can grab that Corki and then flex it, I suppose, too.
Of junglers available.
I like it. Kindred. No, Graves, I like that too.
Oh boy, Graves is available.
Speaking of flex picks, probably going to Trace, but Wing could play in the jungle.
Well, this is already exciting. The moment that we see Graves locked in would be great.
Oh, not exciting anymore.
The thing you can say is that you're pretty confident that Afreeca will pick their top lane in the next rotation. They always save that counter pick for mid, so maybe it can still be the Graves in the next rotation.
Maybe it'll just be the Lucian. Elise, Lucian, 2 very safe picks. You don't give away a huge amount, I should say.
A huge much?
You don't give away a huge much. I'm like inventing my own dialect at this point.
Hugh Much sounds like a British guy, like Hugh Laurie or Hugh.
Hugh Much?
Hugh Much.
It's
Pip pip cheerio.
Yeah. Jolly good. Well, Elise, Lucian, you don't give away a lot.
Nope. Very solid picks. The Alistar priority has gone all the way to first pick now.
Yep.
Lulu, of course, not being contested this draft. Definitely not an Afreeca pick.
But Tom Kench has slipped through the cracks so far.
It smells like a Corki mid, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Obviously a flex pick coming through. Are flexing their support too, so this is something different from Afreeca. They are actually flexing some picks.
And now I'm getting interested. I'm kind of curious about this.
To be fair, the Corki's not really that flex when they already have a Kalista. So it would be cementing a Corki mid. Maybe they're scared of the Graves.
Well, I think counter-picking top may be the best answer here because Trace right now does provide the largest threat on Jin-Air.
Well, let's see. They're giving an opportunity for Iksu to potentially pick a champion into a favorable matchup. Whether he can actually take advantage of that and show us something different. I want him to shut down this narrative. Show me something special. Be that carry that Afreeca needs. I'm just skeptical.
Papa Smithy wants you to be special. Isn't he special
That's all I
enough
want.
already?
He's in Champions, so he's got that going for him.
It's true. Hard to do that.
Eva, of course, know that very well.
Yeah.
Sitting in the Challenge League.
I would love it if they took the Tom Kench right here.
Would be a possibility.
Tom Kench Cassiopeia seems reasonable. Fiora seems also reasonable, but you know, if you take the Fiora, you know, like they're very clearly showing, they're like, well, will they take the Tom Kench if we take the Fiora? I don't know. Then again, I mean, nobody's going to walk into a Cassiopeia Ultimate like Tom Kench is going to, right?
Tom Kench makes the most amount of sense.
I like it.
In this draft. I'm really interested to see Kuzan opting into the Corki matchup. as Cassiopeia in the early laning, pre-Rockets. I think Cassiopeia will do very well, but
Graves.
Rockets come through.
Graves, please.
That's Graves.
Pick the Graves, I know.
You want it? You run it that badly?
I
Graves
know.
top?
This is the wrong champion that starts with GR.
Do you really
Just go
pick
triple AD, man.
Do you really pick Graves top into Trace?
No, especially not into Tom Kench.
Actually, in Tom Kench was the matchup that Trace did so well on. Duke was playing the top lane,
yeah,
Tom
I suppose
Kench.
it's true.
Push, push, push all day. Tom Kench has no wave
guess.
clear. It is tricky to pick it against Trace because he's definitely going to be on the ball when it comes to rotations around top. Here's a champion now that Marin has left champions. We have seen very little of.
Yeah,
The Rumble.
see the Rumble. Thinking about it, really taking a long time with this last pick.
Ixu's the one who was given the opportunity to last pick. Maybe it's more about shutting down a pocket Trace pick than necessarily about giving a counter pick to top. But we will see the Rumble from Ixu. And honestly, this feels like the closest Ixu will get to a carry champ as far as we can see. Rumble and Lissandra, the most carry potentially shown in his champion.
The team fights in this game are going to be really interesting because you're going to. I really wonder how they're going to use Corki's package and Rumble's ult together, because you can really cover a lot of a big area with Corki's package and the equalizer.
That's basically double equalizer. If you fight in a choke, you're taking what, 300 magic damage a second conservatively?
I don't know the numbers, but you're taking a lot. Come on, you're asking me about numbers, dude?
It's a big one. That's all I can tell you. Corki has those too.
Yeah.
He's got a package, a big one. He's got everything.
That's like asking Bill Nye about UFC fighting.
How do you know that's not one of his hidden passions?
Well, I mean, he might be really into it. He might like it, but he can't do it himself.
He does it.
He probably wouldn't survive long in the octagon.
That's fair. That's fair.
Well, maybe he would, because nobody wants to hit Bill Nye. Everyone's like, wow, Bill Nye the Science Guy, you're awesome. Just want his autograph, dude. Maybe he would last in the octagon after all. Well, we'll see how long the Afreeca Freecs last on Summoner's Rift. They were taken down pretty hard and pretty fast by Jinair last game. A lot of work to do, but coming at it with a completely different comp. I like this, changing everything, trying something new. We'll see if it's enough.
After that game one, throw it out, try something new. I'm really excited to watch the mid lane matchup. Cassiopeia versus Corki could be an interesting one.
Yeah. Could be. Well, should be entertaining nonetheless. Let's get into game two. Jinair versus Afreeca Freecs. It's go time.
Everybody wants to rule the world. There's a room where the light won't find you. Holding hands.
All right, welcome back for perhaps the last time tonight to Summoner's Rift. Jinair Greenwings going to be taking on the Afreeca Freecs and looking for that 2-0. Looking to move up to 2-1, no, 3-1 overall on the season so far.
As I mentioned right at the tail end there, my big focus is on the mid lane matchup, specifically how Cassiopeia will deal with Corki post-6. Because pre-6, you can think of Corki trying to get in range of the phosphorus bomb, eating some poison, and then taking those big damage trades with the Twin Fangs. But when you have the rockets to poke out every time Cassiopeia gets in, Cassiopeia, fiercely short-range champion against the massive range from the Corki rockets, could be tricky for Kuzan. So the laning phase, as it develops, will be something I'll be keeping track of.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
Well, Trace going back a little bit. Looks like there's going to be some jungle follow and no lane swaps. Whatever you say, Corki.
He's not bounding about like we saw yesterday from Fly, I think it was, in the Corki.
Well, I'm really curious to see how Afreeca's going to play this one out, because last game was about as one-sided as getting. Look at this, Pilot and Che invading the Grom. Wow, really putting the aggression on. Can they actually make something happen with this? Just checking, I guess, but they went far.
And they weren't able to deny. They didn't
I
actually
was-
leash far enough. Actually, it re-leashes. So
Oh,
awkward.
wow.
It was super low health as well.
The intimidation factor from Pilot and Che, I guess, were enough to cause problems for Songyun and Snowflower. And that's kind of funny.
Still going to require the second group of minions to crash before level 2 will be acquired. So it'll be super interesting to see, actually, where a level 2 advantage comes in.
Yeah. Huh. Snowflower and Songyun just wasting no time getting up in the face of the Jinair bot lane.
Shared
Taking that
experience.
edge.
They were actually worried about Sungyu taking solo experience from the Grom because it would have pinged level 2 earlier. They didn't have that information, so they had to back away.
Here I was hoping for a 2v2 fight at 2 minutes into the game.
Not your day, though.
I expect too much, don't I?
You do.
I do. Oh well. Fairly normal lanes at this point then.
Actually really nice warding, level 1. Since so precious little invades for warding, but Jin pushed a ward into the Krugs on the top side of the map, so we're confident to know that the lane swap hadn't been enacted and go and contest the Gromp. It did delay the Gromp, but obviously the reset, they still picked it up, still got some lane control.
You can see neither one of the supports having the best results on these champions yet this season, but the sample size, as we've said before, is pretty low. One of them is going to pick up a win. Shay grab, he's going to take some poke. Take a lot of poke, actually. Nice play from Snowfar, wow.
Headbutts to a minion, so that means he doesn't have sustain yet, hasn't picked up a point in the triumphant roar.
I guess so. Good start in these early minutes for the Afreeca Freecs, I suppose.
No real advantages taken yet. Actually pretty conservative jungle pathing in general from both junglers. No semblance of a gank. Freaks have had enough of bot lane.
Have they?
I seem to. Went to go kill the Rift Coward.
Are they just setting something up for a dive, perhaps? I wonder.
There's defensive ward over at the Krugs, so if Rek'Sai paths around there will be spotted out. Yes, it is spotted.
Yeah, but Winged is way up on top. Looks like Lyra's just going to recall. It's quiet on Summoner's Rift.
Crisis averted. No fight is allowed. Back to farming.
Oh, good. Happy day.
Happiest of days.
Yeah. Nice CS lead for Songyun early on. They've been able to really bully Pilot and Shay in this lane.
It's the reality of level 2 spikes. You always have to respect them. You end up losing CS and lane control. There will be a big minion wave pushing back, so that will be equalized. Speaking of equalizers.
Hello, Wing coming in right now. Ixu could be in trouble. Uses that flash early on. Ixu does some damage. Wing doesn't connect, though, with that cocoon, it looked like.
Winged held the cocoon. That was what he needed to do, but missed. It was actually a nice dodge, but poor accuracy from Winged. Should have been able to hit that. The Winged of last week, the one that put Bengi in the grave, really, you would have bet.
Well, he was hitting cocoons against Bengi that he wasn't even intending.
That's true.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that.
Finding the wild Eve in the brush.
But just a really nice path from Ixu to anticipate when Winged was going to try to lock him up.
Both sides the pathing was good. Pathing from Wing to get there for that gank was smart. Rumble often overextends in lanes, which is famous to do.
Flash is used by both top laners too, so not a huge advantage. But interestingly enough, the TP advantage does go to Jin Air for a little while at least.
Let's have a pseudo-global, at least a semi-global and getting to mid in the Abyssal Voyage, coming to him very soon.
That too.
A lot of farming going through for now. Corki actually already has the lane lead early. I expected this to start tipping at this point, the level 6 point, but for now it feels like Fuzan is having to lose out on CS.
Yeah. Jin Air having a bit of a slow start.
Snowflower going for the zoning lantern just to indicate that someone was bot. Nice little mind play.
Yep.
Otherwise, passive farming. Passive farming.
Oh yes.
My kingdom for a grave, Stoa.
You really wanted to give your kingdom away a lot these days.
It's true.
Oh. Who's there? Just protecting the recalls, it looks like. Maybe. Oh, Songyun. Oh. I think they're going to try something. Yeah, they are. Oh, hello. Guess what? Thresh can see into brushes, guys.
Yep. No flash pole range there for Che. Had his flash up, but no such luck.
Yep.
Mickey going to start working towards Trinity Force. We've seen Trinity Force spikes for bot lane Corkies. Not really pan out, so we'll see if the mid lane Corki can take advantage of that and really start pushing in the mid lane. Should have it earlier, be higher levels, so a lot of turret pressure coming soon.
At the same time, both of these junglers really being attentive to vision, going for the tracker's knife.
Speaking of vision, pink ward advantages with Jin Air. you can ever get double pinks up around the mid lane, then you have just such a stranglehold on the pathways around that mid lane. But right now you can see bot side of the jungle, pink ward for Afreeca, top side for Jeanette.
Pretty much. But overall, a very, 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 very passive game.
Yep. Couldn't really hope for too much more when you saw the picks. No side of the aggression from Trace. Winged. He was the only one that could really have broke the stalemate. Was a good gank path up top, but missed the cocoon and thus missed the chance for an early first blood.
Yeah, Corky's got the package. Let's see when he decides to use it. If and when.
Doesn't cost anything, but can open up so many aggressive plays. Only a week ago, the Faker was going crazy with the package in the first game of the season.
That Corky was spectacularly terrifying. And speaking of terrifying, Jennair's about to get dived pretty hard there. There's a package. They dodge it, but Pilot taking a lot of damage anyway. Doesn't get knocked up. No, he does. There's the exhaust. Can he get away? No, not with the flay. And first blood goes to a bloodthirsty Snowflower. That is a good start for the Afreeca Freecs.
That's the Mickey we know and love. Very aggressive use of the package, but this is the same duo that SKT were running in that game one. Rex side Corky have so much synergy between the two, can really get in with the reliable engage, and it was just a nice rotation from Afreeca.
Yeah, and they have already equalized all of their kills from game one, so they've got that going for them too.
Yeah, infinity more kills ahead. Okay, 0 in the first game.
One more and they could double their kills from game one.
Well,
and they've done this without giving up anything else across the map. You know, Trace is not able to use this to take a turret. Kuzan was not able to use this to get a lot more damage done on his turret. So really just very clean from Afreeca. This is what they wanted to do in game one.
To be fair, we should walk back a statement there. They have obviously infinitely more kills than game one, and percentage-wise, because 0 times 2.
Oh yeah, that's right. I thought they had 1 kill last game.
Nope, none.
Not bad.
A massive bagel on the scoreboard.
Guess so.
Nice to see aggressive package play. We've actually seen a lot of Corkies really not get much going with what can be a game-changing passive.
Yep. Now, I wonder what's going to happen with this top lane, because Trace has been slowly but surely gaining a CS lead, and he's actually going to try for something here.
Oh boy.
Okay, yeah, coming in from behind. It looks like they're going to try to catch Lyra.
They are going on quite the
such
walk.
luck. Yeah, what in the world's going on?
This is the part where Afreeca's like, wait, what?
Yeah. All right, they're going to come from behind. Ixu has flash, though.
This is some creative pathing.
Yeah, no kidding. Ixu caught with the cocoon. Can they get him? One more from the time catch passive.
He misclicks.
He did, I think, and Ixu still taken out, though. Trace durable enough with that gray health.
Actually, what happens is that there is priority on the defensive. It's priority on eating your champion than eating the enemy, so that's why I didn't get it through.
Yeah, you got to be exact if your jungler is right next to you, or if any of your other teammates are right next to you.
Now, we've seen some interesting use of the Abyssal Voyage. That was quite the walk. They got deep vision and a kill.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was, and it's going to let Trace do a lot of damage to this top lane turret, too.
Teleport is up from Ixu. Probably have to use it defensively. For now, though, walking back to lane doesn't want to give away a second kill under turret.
Yeah, I mean, it seems pretty easy for the Freecs to just dive that bottom lane right now.
At least they're sticking around. They're definitely thinking about it.
Yeah. No crud for you. Trace doing a ton to that top lane, but Afreeca Freecs doing a lot to that bottom lane. They should be able to get the turret. Looks like Jennair and Afreeca will trade.
So use the equalizer to pick up the minion wave at minimum, but kill and also basic monopolization of vision on the top side of the jungle compared to just the reverse push given to Afreeca. We'll take that if you're Jennair.
Yeah, I would say so. And polite applause. Yes, it was quite a good turret taking. Oh, time for the Rift Herald to go down by his buff.
Tell how strong or how respected Swiftness boots are that even Rumble, champion, of course, known about picking the double magic penetration items, will be going for the Swiftness boots here.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm honestly a little bit surprised to see that.
Just so powerful. It's so cheap as well.
Yes, so.
800 gold.
I like it.
Trace doesn't. Actually has Abyssal Voyage up again. He's already gone for an impressive roam for that ability.
Yeah, we haven't seen anyone consistently be very aggressive with the Tom Kench ultimate yet. But we may see that a little bit more in the future. He's just using it to get back to lane now.
Honestly, it's just nice to see someone use it basically off cooldown. You actually use that ability. So frequently we've seen players completely give it up, you know, I'll be on the other side of the map, so I have to teleport into fights and never really find the time to channel it. Creative things like going for the deep warding mission into having an excellent path to gank top. Afreeca were very obviously completely confused by the maneuver, and it was super effective.
Yeah, very cool to see. That said, with that dragon lead, Afreeca Freecs is looking okay. Trace, the one, the only. Jogging down the mid lane.
Tahm Kench is a funny champ.
He is indeed. Looks like he's going to push that up a little bit for Kuzan.
Yeah, bringing his Rift Herald buff across the map, sharing it with everyone.
Oh, why not? Doesn't really help the minions survive, but I think they want to just swap him over and get some more vision maybe in this jungle.
He just has no reason to be top lane. Could teleport back there if he needs to be. Might have to swap turrets though overall.
Yeah, oh, Kuzan in big trouble. Snowflower coming in to help out Lyra. Shay trying to save his mid laner. Winged there as well. Lyra still chasing. Equalizer goes down. Winged zoned out on the outside of the fight a bit. Shay on the run too. And Tahm Kench saves his support. Looks like they may have to give up that blue buff after all. So no deaths, but a win certainly for the Afreeca Freecs. They can probably turn this into a turn too.
Two big misplays in that fight. Specifically, Kuzan actually whiffed completely on the Petrifying Gaze, didn't get any stun, and it felt like Ixu was too quick on using the Equalizer.
Pilot's right here. Yeah, nice headbutt pulverizer, flash pulverize. Ixu thrown right back into lane. There's the exhaust. Is he going to get taken out? He will. Songyun with a kill there, but they lose Shay at the same time. Songyun going for another one. Can he get Pilot? He can. A big double kill for the Freecs. Meanwhile, Mickey and Kuzan dueling in the jungle, but Kuzan really can't pursue this.
Kuzan zoned away.
Now
Kill trade
Trace.
goes really good for the Afreeca Freecs.
It does. Trace needs to be careful here too.
Still already pretty tanky, but multiple members of Afreeca around.
Yep.
It's a surprise, I think, from the side of Jinna. They thought they had the pressure around the enemy red side jungle, but their own jungle very quickly collapsed by Afreeca, and Kuzan not getting a register on that ult meant that just didn't have much pressure that fight from Jinna.
Well, it's kind of surprising to see the games go so differently between game 1 and game 2. Afreeca looked hopeless in game 1, and now they're really causing Jinair a lot of trouble. Nice 2,000 gold lead for them here at just 15 minutes.
You can see when Afreeca, when specifically Mickey has some lane pressure ahead in CS, made that successful roam down bot. Mickey is setting the pace of mid lane, and Afreeca look comfortable in every lane as a result.
Yeah. Well, that mid lane turret, not a lot of health remaining on it. And as Pilot takes a red buff, Ixu sets up. I thought he was going to ward Dragon, but I guess he didn't. I bet they want to take that soon.
Even though they came to contest that first Gromp buff, look at the CS lead that Songyun's been able to cultivate, 30 plus CS. Of course, it's met by the advantage that Tahm Kench has in the top lane, but mid and bot definitely have won this game, in the early game at least for Afreeca.
Right. Yeah.
Already a big pivot on last game where Songyun was way behind for the majority of the game.
Yeah, no kidding. Now the question is, you know, Jinair looked really solid closing that last game out. How are they at coming back?
We'll see how the team fight phase looks, specifically if they can play around, as you mentioned, the devastating package and equalizer combo.
Yeah.
If Jinna opt into fights and chokes, which remember, when you're contesting that enemy blue buff, they were basically forcing a fight in the choke. That's good terrain for Afreeca to fight on. If they can recreate that multiple times, stay away from fighting in open spaces like, for example, the mid lane, terrain could help the Afreeca as Trace.
Ixu could be in trouble. Wing getting chased, but Trace coming from behind. Ixu behind enemy lines here. Kuzan coming up to try to intercept him. Dragon taken by the Afreeca Freecs. So at least they've got that if they end up having to give up Ixu, which it looks like they will. Headbutt pulverize. Ixu not going to make it out of this one. Let's see who they give the kill to. It's going to go to Kuzan, but Mickey pushing this bot lane now.
Trinity Force Corki.
I don't know if that was really worth it.
Mid lane, Trinity Force Corki already level 12.
Wow.
This turret is exploding.
No kidding. The turret already gets taken out. And that's 3 turrets now. 2 in the bot lane for the Freecs.
Trinity Force Corki, double AD, and of course just got that extra damage to turrets from the second Dragon buff. All of them coming together to some very quick structures from Afreeca.
Yeah. Man, I would be very nervous right now if I was Jin Air.
Trace is looking for the outscale, I guess. Gets to 6 items, then this Tahm Kench can definitely do a lot of work tanking up in the late game, but for now, you can see both Mickey and Sungyoon doing massive damage to every other member of Jin Air.
Well, Cassiopeia can do quite a bit too in the late game. I mean, Pilot's going to scale up. Do you feel like if Jin Air just tries to stabilize, they can succeed in a really late game situation?
I'm worried about Cassiopeia in the late game. I actually always am, just because she needs to kind of fight in short range, and that range is going to be dictated by things like the equalizer, like potentially the package coming through. There's a lot of terrain denial that can come through from Afreeca. So of course, if you get your zones, if you're able to free hit, the single target damage, especially from Cassiopeia, can be immense. But setting up winning team fights for Cassiopeia is often super hard to do. So far, Afreeca have been smart about fighting around their win conditions, i.e. fighting in the corridors or the short expanses where equalizer can go across the whole team. More so than Jin Air, that have played around Trace well, but it's been the rest of the map that's really let Jin Air down.
Well, the big question now for Afreeca Freecs is, can they close this game out cleanly? They've certainly struggled at any stage of the game, and honestly, this is the first game we've seen this season that they even have a chance to close out a game. So now we get to learn something new about this team.
And also closing out is maybe a bit too generous at this point. They're ahead,
so?
but certainly not in a landslide fashion. 1 kill, a couple of thousand gold. They've rotated smarter, but they haven't really won a big team fight or got that big push to really give them the landslide advantage this game.
Too far away though, it seems like.
Definitely building smartly, but still early days, I think, mostly. I like what they're doing also here. They're rotating around the Tahm Kench. He might be big. He's very, very tanky.
Yeah, but he's not infinitely tanky. Here comes Che. Wow, flash pulverized. Snowflower taking turret hits. They don't clear enough of the wave, though. Kuzan coming from the side. This could end up being good for Jin Air. They're thinking about it. No, Kuzan a little bit too timid to go in on that one. Goodbye, Rift Herald.
But it's actually really smart from them.
Oh, winged.
A lot of damage.
Yeah.
It's smart to rotate around the Tahm Kench. If Tahm Kench is where he wants to be in team fights, absolutely can do a lot of work, but wave clear is not the name of his game. Multiple members hitting down his turret means the Tahm Kench has to just watch, and it isolated Mickey to take an unanswered mid lane turret.
Yep, going right back to lane now. So they do keep the turret alive for the moment.
Flashing health, 4 turrets down, soon to be a 5th.
Yep.
For Jin Air.
Jin Air just trying to hold on. Oh, Trace is right there. Oh, tried to grab Sungyoon, but no such luck.
Even though Ixu's been obviously having a hard time of it, 3 deaths already in 20 minutes, he's got the Leandres. He's still going to be relevant. It's the reason why Rumble can overextend in lane, get caught, but still come back with a big equalizer. So Ixu's not irrelevant. And if they keep rotating around Trace, ensuring that there's never that 1v1 matchup where clearly he's going to be in the ascendancy, it minimizes any potential issues cross-map for Afreeca.
Yeah. I just wonder what's going to happen once Trace gets tanky. It's not going to be too long.
Or when teleport plays come up where they have to send multiple members to answer Trace, because it doesn't feel like Ixu's ever really going to be in a spot to 1v1 him in a side lane.
Probably not.
Keep applying the pressure. Items are good here, similar to how Jin Air had the important item spikes last game. Sungyoon has the Blade of the Ruined King, the Hurricane. They're definitely team fight ready. They've taken the easy turrets. It's can they cultivate these harder objectives to take? Specifically, can they break the base?
Yeah.
It's like fighting around an objective. Specifically, Dragon should be the easy objective, but fighting around both Baron and Dragon, as Lyra takes a little bit of damage, is the easy thing to do because they do not have the split push advantage. The one thing Afreeca doesn't have is they can't deal with the Tahm Kench in a side lane.
I suppose. And Trace, speaking of can't deal with Tahm Kench, not taking a ton of damage. Flash, they're going to force a flash from Mickey. There's the exhaust. Is he going to get close enough anyway? Oh, he can't quite reach him. Oh, that was a close call for Mickey. Had to burn both of his summoners.
Exhaust actually coming up big there.
Yeah.
I think Cleanse and Heal probably would have done the same thing, but...
Oh, it's fighting time. Snowflower gets pulled in with that Fate's Call. You really can't engage on that. Nice return onto Trace. Got to use that gray health to stay alive. Jin Air on the run. Trace in trouble. Goes down to the red from Songyun. Lyra tries to make something happen. Gets caught with the cocoon. Either way, though, this turret is not going to last.
Just like Faker on Lulu, Mickey's putting on map pressure. They're fighting smart. They're minimizing the effect of the big Tahm Kench. And Afreeca playing a lot smarter this game. It took 6, but they're finally looking pretty good.
Yeah, going for that Baron now. Oh boy. They can do it fast, but is it risky?
Certainly is risky. They don't have the Trace teleport, though.
They do have Che's ultimate. They're going to turn on him. They're not going to finish off the Baron. That's big, actually. They were very close to taking that down. And this may cost them a mid-turret, actually. Now everybody's a little bit low. Can they save their turret?
And see a replay. This is a fight up top. Trace was lucky that he could even pop the Greyhound. Look at the CC chain right at the end. Just pops it early. Duke definitely would have tried to hold on to it there, but eventually rendered down, and good pick on the most fed member. Could have almost got pilot as well, but smart team fight from Afreeca.
Now this did not work out for Afreeca at all. They took a lot of damage. They gave up their mid-turret. Now it looks like they're going to give up Dragon as well. So much for that 5th Dragon stack in a timely time.
Timely fashion.
Yeah, sure. Jin Air really taking advantage of that mistake from Afreeca, and it's mistakes like that that really make this game still pretty close.
It was an endearing part of this team when they first came to this league. They were very good at some things, but obviously didn't have the finesse, didn't have the macro play that some other teams did. But now, 6 months into their lives, it feels like they really need to be ironing up some of those more obvious mistakes.
Yeah, I would say so. Jin Air manages to defend that turret for the moment.
Their wave clear, though, certainly not massive.
Not great. Shay didn't even need to use his ult. They scared the Freaks off Baron.
Only Pilot really has a way to ranged wave. Mickey specifically is poking around these inner turrets.
Yeah. They really want this mid lane tier 2. Can Jin Air fight this?
Still haven't got an auto
Snowflower.
Haven't got any orders on it, so it stays at the same health.
You know, if Trace connects with one of his Qs, maybe they can turn it into something.
If he had flash up, maybe, but with no flash, it's going to be hard to get an easy pick.
Yeah. Gotta be careful of Kuzan's flash ult.
Afreeca back away.
Yeah. Good defense by Jin Air, and you have to wonder, is this maybe the time where the tides start to turn?
This gold lead stays at this point or starts to close, then maybe we can start entertaining that. Afreeca did play out a clean first 20 minutes, but as you mentioned, they were lost in the objective swap in the last round of skirmishes, and for now, they've not been able to expand their lead at all.
You know, one big thing is in mid and AD carry, just massive CS leads. 60 CS ahead for Songyun over Pilot.
I was skeptical about the Casio and Corki, and certainly hasn't impressed me in practice either.
Yeah. It's not as far behind as he could be. No deaths at least, but right now, Pilot just not doing the damage that they need him to do.
Afreeca again looking around Baron. They have excellent secure with the Kalista.
True. Jin Air knows what's up though.
Oh boy.
Wow, that's a very sneaky Baron for Afreeca. They're going for it. Snowflower coming in too. Jin Air knows what's up. They're going to have to turn. Afreeca could be in trouble. Teleport coming in from Tahm Kench. No, canceled. Decides to just walk up.
Now he does have the ability to Abyssal Voyage in, so it's not quite the same as other champions in that regard.
That was good enough, I guess, for them to stop the Baron.
Do cancel the teleport. Can Ixu take advantage of that is the question.
Maybe. Could be. It's tougher with Abyssal Voyage, but it's definitely possible.
And the big issue is that in and off lane, Ixu can't wave clear in front of the Tahm Kench. Will be chased down, may not be killed, but we're on very low health even if he manages to escape. They just don't have that strategic advantage to be able to take advantage of, even though he's been able to wrestle back some of the CS lead that Tracer put together. Crazy how, from that contest at Grom, Songyun was able to cultivate such a big CS advantage over Lucian. Lucian's actually a really good pick, laning-wise, into the Kalista.
Yeah. Yeah, that little scouting mission didn't work out.
Third time's the charm.
Yeah, they're going for it. Now there is no teleport for Trace to get there. He has to get close enough to Abyssal Voyage in. There's the TP for Ixu. They're going for it. They're committed. Wing comes in.
Oh, boy.
Where's the cocoon? That Baron's doing a lot of damage. Snowflower on his own. Could be in trouble. Chain Kuzan on the side of the fight. Lyra tries to get onto Kuzan. They all go onto Kuzan, and that is big trouble for Jin Air as Songyun gets a kill on the mid laner. Trace on the run. Shay way too low to do anything, and Jin Air just has to back off. They prevented the Baron for the moment. They're too low to do it now. They prevented the Baron, but Kuzan got taken out. Got a little bit too close, but you have to. Whoa, they're going for it again.
It's really risky. They only have Rek'Sai to tank
That
this.
is so risky. Rek'Sai is really low. I don't know about this, man. I don't know about this. Songyun gets the Baron, but now they have to escape. I guess they can. Songyun, the hero here, chasing Jin Air away, almost single-handedly. Pilot can't do anything.
Isn't it great to show confidence in your AD carry? I mentioned that his Kalista play was picking up. They showed confidence in his secure on Kalista. Get the objective, peel off. Don't get any extra kills. Kuzan dies with flash and ult available. You got to say, this Cassiopeia pick is hurting them in more ways than one because Mickey has had so much pressure this game that was completely absent in game one. We're seeing in the replay here. Kuzan caught, collapsed on by 4 people, can't ult, can't flash, dies first. That eventually leads to the Baron for Afreeca.
And you gotta wonder why Kuzan decided he needed to get that close. I mean, yeah, you're trying to throw poison into the Baron pit, but you have to be aware of that.
That's what you always have to do on Cassiopeia. You always have to get that close because your range is 600. Basically, all your spells are within range of Abyssal Scepter's Magic Shred aura. It's either that or completely backing away. He tried to sow presence, instantly collapsed on. Good, clear shot call from Afreeca when, of course, clear shot calling has been one of their big problems this season.
Yep. Now with that Baron buff, it's starting to look a little bit unlikely that Jin Air can win this one.
Might be going to a game 3, Doa.
Didn't expect it, especially after last game, but Jin Air making some interesting decisions this game.
It's not over yet, but 10,000 gold, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to call it over either, but then Wing gets caught.
It's a lot of poke. They don't have any wave clear. There's nothing Cassiopeia can do against Baron buff minions, but the siege not that great. It's only Mickey that has excellent siege, and he's busy dealing with Trace in a sideline.
Suppose. If they can keep from losing inhibitor turrets through this Baron, that'll be pretty good.
The big one.
Wow, Pilot takes a big chunk there.
It's definitely good for Jin Air. The most fed members just clearing waves slowly next to the best sieger on the side of Jin Air. Oh, the side of Afreeca, sorry.
Well, they've survived most of the Baron buff already.
Back away. Now you can see how important denying that third dragon stack was to Afreeca. This would have been a 4th dragon, would have been a hard timer on the game, but only the 3rd.
So Jin Air still has a shot at this.
Going to be very, very difficult. Going to require, I think, a big positional misplay from Afreeca to get back in the game.
Like a really epic flash ult from Kuzan or something, but... Oh, Trace finding himself caught, didn't see the Freaks coming at all, trying to waddle away. There's a cocoon onto Snowflower. Kuzan adds a bit of damage on, but I think they're just happy to get Trace out alive.
Yeah, lucky to get him out alive. No flash on Trace.
Yep.
Able to waddle away.
That's right. Baron buff is gone. They've managed to weather the storm a little bit anyway.
Just need to set up a siege where Corki is grouped because he's the only one realistically who can both zone with Phosphorus Bomb and Rockets and get those auto attacks. In Kalista, it's very, very risky to be trying to get auto attacks on to structures, so that's why, regardless of the lack of wave clear, it's been pretty much an impasse when it comes to sieging these inhibitor turrets.
Yep.
Mickey's doing some crazy damage, but Trace shaking most of it off.
Well, Trace is the only one that's really tanky enough to stand up to this at this point. The pressure continues.
Yeah, it feels like a Jin Air game though. Afreeca doesn't know how to finish the game from here. No Baron available, third dragon down as well. Breaking the base, looking more than they can bite off right now.
Yeah, pulling back. They've got all the lanes pushed though. Really good vision all over the place. So I think it still goes back to what you were saying earlier, where if Jin Air is going to win this, they really have to be able to capitalize on it. Some sort of big positional mistake by Afreeca.
Worth noting that the 2016 minion changes do come into effect here, specifically bottom lane. There's a 2-turret advantage, so the minions will be auto-pushing in. The big difference between this season and last season, that in last season, when you were this far ahead, you could still set up a freeze such that the enemy minions were so pushed up that Jin Air would never get access to the minions in bot, so they would just lose even more gold and be even that further behind when they eventually were forced into a fight around 5th Dragon, around the Baron. Because the minion waves push up, more guaranteed or close to guaranteed gold going over to Jin Air. Look, they're still far, far behind, but it just means that 12, 13,000 gold leads become 10, 9,000 gold leads.
Pretty much. Jin Air really on the ropes right now.
Those minions pushing in mean that if Afreeca can't get a decisive advantage, a 5th Dragon, a Baron, there will be a stage in 10, 15 minutes time where the gold lead is closer than it is right now.
Could be. Certainly could be. Still at about 11k right now.
And again, you're relying on Afreeca not pulling the trigger more so. It's more going to be a mistake on the side of Afreeca than anything Jin Air can really force themselves.
I think, like we've talked about, the big story of this game is just the total domination of Mickey's Corki over Kuzan's Cassiopeia.
I mean, Songyun, great duo act as well to have that big CS advantage. Consistently been 50 plus CS ahead of Pilot.
Yep. Mickey nearly 100 ahead of Kuzan.
Flame Horizon's close.
It is, and you don't see that in the mid lane very often,
No,
do you?
it's in the mid lane especially, but you don't see low wave clear champions in mid lane much either.
True. Anymore. Well, Baron up in 50 seconds. I think that's when we're going to see some action.
If we can get any orders.
Oh, Che gets grabbed. Are they going to force out the ultimate? Not quite. Che really wanting to save that one because he knows Baron is coming soon.
Baron 35 seconds away. The result of this is that, of course, Alistair will come back quickly with the home guards, but they won't be in position to get the sort of warding they want defensively around the Baron.
Yep. Yeah, they have to be really careful entering the jungle. We've had those shots of the vision on each team before, but I think it's pretty obvious who's got the better vision now.
Definitely. Genev's never been in a position to pick up neutral minions, let alone put down meaningful wards.
Yep. And Corki has the package.
Level 18, not quite 6 items, only 3, but obviously 3 very expensive items. 40% CDR achieved.
Well, I think he's perfectly fine with the amount of damage he's doing at the moment.
He's pretty buffed up right now.
All right, could be Baron time.
Pink ward on the Baron, pink wards defensively. Jinna have to poke to even get an idea of where Afreeca's at. They are spotted going for this move though.
Oh, this is interesting.
They want to break the base again.
Going to top lane. And Jin Air doesn't really want to fight this. Afreeca rushing down to this turret.
They have to fight instantly. They cannot watch as Corki rips through the turret.
Yeah, he's doing so much damage. Look at that. Turret gone, equalizer used. And now Ixu's going to try to come in. No, he's going to get knocked out, actually. Che in the back lines. Pilot's got a good angle on this, as does Kuzan. A lot of damage dealt to Afreeca here. If they can chase this safely, maybe they can turn it into something.
Fights where you're coming into a Cassiopeia should set up a big Petrifying Gaze. Again, we didn't see one.
Well, we saw Petrifying Gaze, but didn't quite create the results that Jin Air wanted.
Hasn't changed a team fight like that massive AoE stun can potentially do.
Yep.
They have to back away, Afreeca, and it does buy Jin Air time to at least get some defensive vision down and ensure that Baron's not as quickly picked up.
Afreeca's all recalling right now. Jin Air, I wonder if they're brave enough to try rushing a Baron.
Cassiopeia,
don't think so.
Even when she's behind, does massive Baron damage, especially if she has a blue buff, but
it's too late now.
At minimum, they get some vision in the area that honestly they should have no right having, given how far they've been behind for the past 15 minutes. Maybe it'll have to be a 5th Dragon game, Doa.
Maybe.
4th Dragon respawn, so...
4th Dragon being taken immediately. Jin Air, nothing they can do, I guess. Wow, Jin Air kind of is rolling over and dying a bit at this point.
Well, this is not the fight they want to take. The fight around Baron is the one they want to take. The fight around 5th Dragon feels like 43, 44 minutes. The latest that a Titanic fight will come through from a Jin Air perspective. With this time to farm up, gold lead hasn't really extended. It's about 1,000 more than it was 5 minutes ago, so Still very big, but not growing as much as it would have in previous seasons. Oh, Baron started.
And here we go. Yeah, they're going for it. Jinair, they have to scramble to catch this, but it's going down so fast already. Che on his own, they turn off from it. So once again, they've been stopped from doing that Baron.
They do draw out Che's ultimate, and Ixu's split pushing.
Wow. Ixu in trouble. Well, not in trouble. That turret in trouble. And now the Afreeca Freecs once again trying this Baron out. Jinair uses a culling, doesn't do a whole lot. Teleport coming in for both teams. They're going to try to catch Trace right away. Hook doesn't land. Kuzan has a chance here. He's got his ult, but no flash. And the Freaks are just going to go right back to the top lane again.
They really are respecting the petrifying gaze. They're not willing to pull the trigger despite being so far ahead. Sangyu just soloing it down.
I guess so. Oh, gets spotted though.
Blue trinkets. Very, very hard to steal away these Barons when there's a good idea that it's going on.
Yeah. Oh, Kuzan gets grabbed. This could be bad. Snowflower coming in. Kuzan completely destroyed. And with that catch, it is not going to be a one game for Jinair. That is it. Afreeca Freecs, all they need to do is just push down the mid lane, and there's not a lot that Jinair can do to stop this.
This barrier Cassiopeia from Kuzan certainly has not worked. It's caused Mickey to be so far ahead. He's been caught out multiple times. No ultimate, nothing else coming through from the Cassiopeia.
Yep, 120 CS ahead at the end, and Jinair's going to try to mount a miracle defense here. Snowflower getting thrown in, doesn't connect anyone. Trace grabs him, might be able to get the kill there, but no, not even able to kill him.
The damage onto Pilot was insane from the Corki.
Yep, damage onto the Nexus is going to be game ending. Having a little fun with it. There goes the second Nexus turret, and that is it. We are going to game 3 between Jinair and the Afreeca Freecs. GG.
Afreeca Freecs finally come up
First
with
win.
a more impressive performance. Mickey, look, he had a good game, but credit to specifically the bottom lane. Turned around what was a rocky game 1 with a much smarter game 2. Were head and shoulders ahead of Pilot and Che for the